Happy Sunday to you guys. I wanted to touch base with you on the programming this week. So I was on my schedule this week a little bit better, and so you'll get this before Monday. That being said, so we've got our last week of the Open, so we still have one workout remaining that we won't know what that is. As we've gotten into the Open, typically we have a better understanding of knowing just kind of like what to expect. So we could probably assume that we haven't seen a jump rope yet, so I could see the jump rope popping in there with some double unders or single unders. I still could see a dumbbell get involved, so we haven't seen a dumbbell get involved. You've got some boxes that could get involved. Do not be surprised. You could still see like pull-ups come back in, even though we've done some sort of pull-up before. You could still see an Olympic movement come in with uh, you know, a clean or a snatch. Like, so you can't just think like, oh, we've already done that, so we're done there. It can happen that you would see something else come in or a version of something come in again. So, but as we go through the week, same type of structure. We've got a strength day on Tuesday. And so then Monday and Wednesday are kind of more training days. Thursday's more of an active recovery day. Saturday, we kind of adjust and modify based on what we did in the Open. But so on Monday, we got 5 rounds, 10 cal row, 15 kettlebell swings, 10 cal row, 15 push-ups. So this one is like a 15 to 18 minute one. The way I'm estimating rounds is typically I think of those rounds, I've done these movements enough that I can kind of mentally count the amount of reps that it takes in the time domain that it takes for those rounds. So a 10 cal row, if you think about like somebody pulling at a 20 strokes per minute, they're going to get 10 cals in about 30 seconds. That's pretty common for most of our guys. So that being said, you got, about 30 to 40 seconds on the rower. You've got 15 Russian swings. Just the time of that movement, the tempo of that movement takes about 30 seconds. Then 10 cal row again, so another 30 to 40 seconds, and just the transition getting on off the rower takes a little time. And then the 15 push-ups. That's really the hang up in this workout is if you are proficient in push-ups, so we have some folks that could do 15 push-ups unbroken all the time throughout the work of the 5 rounds. That is only about a 20 to 30 second effort at most. You want to choose a progression on the push-ups that you can probably get like an 8-7, 5-5-5, but you can consistently hit bigger sets because you don't want that to be the bottleneck of your time in this workout. So I'm expecting rounds to take anywhere from about 2.5 to 3 minutes. You have a minute rest in between each. So I'm assuming that most of us are going to finish within this like 15 to 18 minute range on this workout. Again, could have some folks creep a little higher than that. Could have some folks creep a little lower than that. But it's all really dials down to the push-ups, and then just be mindful of the transitions off the rowers. Remember, when we have scheduled rest in a workout, like we want to be able to sprint, rest. So you don't have to necessarily like pace down this work, and none of the movements are really treacherous in the amount of reps that you do, except for the push-ups for someone who may not be as proficient in that push-up movement and you're building some stamina there. On Tuesday, we've got hang clean by 3. We're doing an EMOM on that one. So these weights should be fairly moderate because you're going to get 30 reps of the hang clean in rather quickly. And we're working on really receiving the bar into the squat. So if you're someone that would normally have to like power clean to front squat, I want you to choose a weight that's light enough that you can focus on writing the squat down, catching it into the squat. That also means for some of you that are maybe a little bit more advanced, I'm going to be honest with you, if you are avoiding that piece, then you're missing, like, do not sacrifice the squat to do more load on the bar. The load does not matter. It's receiving the bar in the squat position. So that may mean that you have to check your ego a little bit and say, okay, well, I'm not going to do as heavy a weight today because I need to work on catching the bar in the squat, catching the clean in the squat rather than power clean, ride it down into the squat. Okay. So work on the skill of that movement over the load that you're lifting there. Plus getting those 30 reps in the 10 minutes is a lot of reps on the legs. You can be very moderate in your weights. Then we're going to go to some unilateral work. So we have a waiter squat. The waiter squat is a unilateral movement because we're going to be loading a single side of the body. And then we're going to also superset that with a unilateral farmer carry. We've talked a lot about this over the last few weeks about this single side loading and what that does to the midline and how it challenges the opposite side of the body, how it challenges the shoulder girdle and the stability there. So this is great work here. And then hollow holds, doing some hollow holds, 2 sets, 30 seconds, max effort on the second round though. So you're going to do as far as you can on that max effort in the second round. You have a 1 minute rest there. So kind of a 3-part strength day, like we've been seeing on our Tuesdays. On Wednesday, little 12-minute AMRAP. I talked with my my Wednesday class last week. The 12-minute AMRAP would be like my wife's least favorite length of the AMRAPs because it just sucks long enough, right? It's not a 5-minute AMRAP, not a 7-minute AMRAP to where like you can kind of sprint and know it's going to be done quickly. You get to the 7 minutes on this one, you're like, I have 5 more minutes to go. And then it's not a 20-minute AMRAP to where you get to like pace down. So that 12-minute AMRAP is like the sweet spot of intensity here. So 20 double unders, 10 sandbag cleans, and then 10 dumbbell push press. Again, we get some dumbbell work in there. I foresee some dumbbell stuff coming in on Friday for the open workout. I also foresee double unders, so we're touching on this stuff, but in a lower level, and then hitting that front rack hold again. We've done this a few different ways over the last few weeks. We've done a carry where we're walking with it. We've done a double arm hold. We've done a single arm hold. Again, continuing to develop that upright posture and that midline stability there. If you could not relate that midline stability in catching in the bottom of a squat, the thruster, max load thruster should have been a major indicator of that. Being able to maintain that front rack position throughout the squat and then press up on a stable platform, that's front rack hold all day long. 16-minute EMOM on Thursday. Again, I said this last week, if you win the Thursday workout, you have won the wrong workout. 12 burpees on minute 1, 12 tall slam balls. Those tall slam balls are a little different. You're going to be using medicine balls because those are going to be bouncing right back up, and it's fast and aggressive. It's not the big, long, aggressive throw. It's a quick, powerful throw. I'm sure you guys will see a video on that this week. On the 12 burpees on the EMOM, like some of you may need to scale that down to moving the right amount of burpees to give yourself still a little bit of a break on that. I was just kind of talking or kind of looking at this stuff, but like we really want to be able to be about 45 seconds of work on all these EMOM pieces. So don't scale down so much on the burpees that you're not equaling that 45 seconds. This is a great one on the EMOM that I allow the first round to be kind of your test round. But don't sandbag it. You also get a full minute of rest before you would start the burpees up again in this EMOM. You got 12 and 9 cals on the Echo Bike. Again, those tall slam balls. But the burpees here are probably the thing that like scares people the most. We're like, man, I just don't know how great I feel on getting 12 burpees every minute. And then kipping skill work. So we're going to work on some kip skill work. So that helps with the pull-up, helps with the toe to bar. I posted a video a couple weeks ago when we did toes to bar and swings about your foot position and your active position on the bar. With your kip, it was for toe to bar, but it also applies to the pull-ups. So go back and take a look at that video if you didn't see it already on that kipping skill work. Again, on Friday, no idea what we got, but I would assume some jump rope. I would assume potentially a box somewhere in there, maybe. And then I foresee a dumbbell somewhere, but never know. Could completely change, but I think that's what I would expect. And then Saturday, we will kind of release Saturday just based on what we're doing in the open. But after this week, we're gonna get right back on track on our normal kind of constantly varied work. We typically will, we see a little bit of like a higher excitement in the gym after the open. One of the things I want you to focus on this week is when you finish up the open workouts, maybe there were some things that you found that you were like, man, I just really want to try to get better at that. Or next year, I'd love to be able to do that prescribed movement or that progression of the movement that I didn't get to do this year. Or I just like to see how much more I can improve on that. When you sit down with your client success coach in Q2, make notes of that. And those are great opportunities to then, there's a couple of things that can happen here. One, you could go into some accessory programming where we provide you about 2 to 3 extra workouts a week. They're about 20 to 30 minutes long. They're usually done in the open gym time. It's not coach-led sessions, but it's coach-led programming that's a little bit more specific to your goals. Two, um, maybe you saw some gaps in what you were doing, and maybe it was like a physique thing, or maybe it was, man, if I had a little bit more muscle on me or a little bit less fat on me, maybe I could have pursued that movement. Like maybe that could have helped my performance there. So maybe it's getting involved in some nutrition coaching. Maybe it's, man, I wasn't as strong as I would like to be. All right, well, maybe that justifies getting involved in one of our upcoming barbell courses. Maybe it's getting involved in one of our shred programs if it's a physique thing. There's lots of opportunities there. A gymnastics course or a specialty piece there, or maybe your mobility sucks and you need to start coming to the yoga things. Like there's a reason why we do so many different things, and we don't do them all for everybody because we know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but we specialize in little increments throughout the year because we believe that for the majority of our population, our group CrossFit programming is going to be sufficient and effective. Okay. If you doubt that, I just want to share with you, I do our group CrossFit programming. And I have not done really anything else. I don't use other people's programming. I have tested the waters on some like physique type programming stuff, and that's actually for some research that I'm doing for our shred program coming up. So I might play with some different like weightlifting type things, but it's mainly bodybuilding, has nothing to do with the open. And that's inconsistent. It's just kind of tampering. When I work out, I do our group class programming, unless I modify it for in my garage and it's still based off our group class programming. And I have been able to maintain being in the top 10% of the world, not because I'm doing something special or extra. Not guys like, and people are like, oh, well, you did this before. The last time I was a competitive CrossFitter, like truly, was 2013, 2014. Guys, we're going on 9 and 10 years that I haven't been doing like competitive CrossFit programming. I probably stopped doing the 2-a-day stuff and trying to follow the program by 2014, 2015. In that stint, I followed either our own class programming that I've designed, somebody else designed our class programming, or the class program that we're currently doing. And it is effective. It gets the job done. If I wanted to go to the CrossFit Games, it would not get the job done without anything additional. That's because that's not what this is. This is general physical preparedness, and the programming is drastically effective. But if you have additional goals, if you have additional things that you want to focus on that are personal to you, then and you want to get there faster, then you may want to pursue nutrition coaching. You may want to pursue a specialty course. May want to pursue accessory programming. So I emphasize that as we go through this open and you see like how you do, like general population should fall into place with general population, right? But if you have some specific things that you want to pursue and you want to get better at, talk to your client success coach about that. We have plans and programs in place for that. We cannot throw every single piece into the group programming because it wouldn't be effective for the majority of our population. And honestly, people would wind up getting hurt because we're not a volume-based program. We focus on quality over quantity. I could throw 10 things into your group programming, never be able to coach you effectively. You'll get overuse injuries. You'll wind up with issues and imbalances and everything else. And that wouldn't be effective for the majority of our population. We've gotten really smart with the way we program, and then we've sprinkled in the other pieces that we believe can be effective through specialty programs, through accessory programming, that sort of thing. So if that's something of interest to you, talk to your client success coach about that. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. DJ K-Bone coming back on Friday Night Lights. We are Corey Easton from Corey Easton Law. He's going to be our sponsor this week. I think we've got some local pizza coming. And because it is Spirit Week in the Open, we will also be providing the spirits for Spirit Week, if you will. So come with your CrossFit Metro East gear. It's all that I own, pretty much. So come with your gear. And if you don't have a CrossFit Metro shirt, I know we have some up front that you can buy. And also, we'll have some sample new drinks for you guys. I've got some recovery drinks coming from Cowbell. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So we've got a couple cases of Cowbell that we're going to be sampling out on Friday as well. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you guys soon in the gym. See ya.